Yo, JD here, and we are here for, I believe, round 17 of Inside Line Racing here today at Suzuka, which is a track I've said already, and I did in my world record video, which I did a few days ago now. Probably is one of my favourite tracks to drive on the game, along with the likes of Silverstone and places like that. I was feeling very, very confident coming into this one, obviously setting that world record in time trial, and the race pace itself. Having to qualify on the soft tyre, which is another one-shot qualifying, unfortunately. Hopefully in future games you can actually select more softs for the session. So one-shot qualifying, where some people were qualifying on the super softs, but opting for the softs here because it is the far better strategy. Lap is a little bit scruffy so far, aiming for really a mid-26, but coming through here now, we just completely, really, honestly just bottled the lap, and I wasn't really too happy about it because in practice, literally kept on nailing every single lap, and that's the story for me, really, just not doing good in qualifying, which means we are going to be starting last, as Martin is trying to give me some words of encouragement there. Not a good lap, just locking up into there, and yeah, starting last now. We just got to just try and do the maximum we can. I knew I had the race pace, so we've got 5 lights now. Trying to get a good start here as Langman's already disconnected from the lobby, so that's going to be one person down to turn 1. Still getting a terrible start, but we're just going to let everyone go into this first corner, not really going to push it at all, just don't want to get any damage in the slightest whatsoever. Maybe trying to pick off a few positions as much as possible, but Langman's actually joined back into the session. I was quite nervous he was actually going to come back into the race again, but luckily we managed to get ahead of him. And now we're behind the Force India and the Sauber. Thinking about going around the outside there, but just not having the drive or the downforce at this particular occasion. And we just got to just do the best we can. As I said, I knew I had the pace here. Just need to really improve that qualifying. That's really is just what let me down. And people might be incoming excuses or something, but honestly, it's really just me bottling the qualifying, and that's through my own fault. And that's something I really, really do need to work on. In previous games on the controller, especially on the controller, I was pretty good in qualifying, but in this game, especially on the wheel, I don't know what it is. I think it's really just, I don't know if it's nerves. I wouldn't really say it's nerves because I've just done so many races now, but just not putting everything on the table in qualifying when it actually matters. Because in practice, it doesn't matter if you spin, make a mistake or anything, it doesn't really count towards anything, but in the race, it means absolutely everything. And I really need to learn to just really just let go and just absolutely just really just go for it rather than thinking about not invalidating that. And that's something I really need to work on, and I will be working on massively, because when I've started in the top 3 on the grid, I've done pretty well. Whenever I start high up the grid, I always do pretty well, so really do need to fix that. But now we just got to make up as many positions as possible, as the Sauber and Force India going side by side here, so this might be one opportunity for me to go down the inside here, trying to get a good line out here. He's a little bit offline, so thinking about going down the inside here, which actually put him out wide a little bit, so actually scaring him off the race line, which is really the intention. Haven't got quite the speed to go around the outside, but we're actually going to put it into standard and then overtake just to get that extra boost of ERS. Going down the inside gives us a little bit of a warning. Luckily, no illegal overtake. Couldn't really go any more wider, tighter than that, and we actually get one move done at least. So we're very, very slowly going through the field now, and now trying to dispatch the Sauber as quick as possible. We've got quite a good straight line speed in this Red Bull here, and let's see if we can get down the straight this time. Looks like we're not going to be close enough this time, so we're probably going to have to wait another extra lap. But the cars ahead, you can see there's quite a big train of cars, so we've still got plenty of opportunities to get some really good points here. But skipping on to the next lap now, we are much, much closer now, as I think he's gone a little bit deep here, so we're going to get a much better optimal line come up here, much better in traction, and we're much closer this time, and we have the benefit of DRS, and this should be quite a simple move. We're going to pull out here, and I don't think he's really going to fight it too hard. And now we slot into 11th place, because I think some people might have already pitted or actually come out of the race. I think there was a little bit of a crash here, but a few laps later, we've actually caught up to this group, and I have to say the pace, as it usually is in the race, honestly, is very, very good. And again, we just need to just make sure we just keep nailing this qualifying. If we just nail this, then I think I've proven that I can definitely fight for race wins, if not stick with leaders at least. But we caught up to this group pretty nicely now as they're fighting tooth and nail for these positions here. We've got CRG Evo in here as well. So we're going to try and get a good exit of here as TSR Bastic's actually pitted. And now there's a virtual safety car. I think someone, I don't think there even was a crash. I think someone just retired from the race and that just gave a virtual safety car, left the session. But now it's about to finish now, and we need to try and be quite savvy here, trying to get a good launch off this, which we do. We get a very good launch once the green flag has actually come out again, and we're getting a very nice run on Dralex, who's actually still on the super soft tyre. So we're trying to get dispatch of him again as much as possible going there through, which we do pretty nicely. And now we got to try and get on the back of WOR more so, who's a very quick driver as well. But we're going to skip on to the next lap now, and we're much closer again. And the pace, as I said, you can see doing 31.1s here.
And we've got a lap 10, that's cool for you.
And Martin's just let me know that he's going to pit on the next lap as well.
Yeah.
But we just got to try and get past him as quick as possible because we've still got a very good chance of points. The leader's not even that far away. Probably a little bit of a stretch to fight for the lead, but for a podium, it's certainly not out of the question at this point. We've got a lap fresher tyres than most people in front of us. Trying to get a good exit off here, which you do once again. 31.1, so still setting very quick times on these soft tyres, and now getting past more so. And behind LCR Leopard with Evo in front and my teammate in front of him, we're not far away from getting some good points here now. So skipping on to the next lap once again, we've actually caught up to the back of Leopard now. So it's looking very, very promising. If we can keep this pace going onto the medium tyre, then we could definitely get some good points once again as Leopard goes into the pits, as well as my teammates. We have to continue for another lap, but the tyres still felt pretty good. 3.1 seconds behind Evo now, and we're planning to come in on this lap. Coming through the detection point, we're 2.9 seconds, so we're actually started to catch Evo. So the pace on these softs is actually looking very, very promising. Going for the race direct at the end, we actually were, I think, bar surprise, the quickest person on the soft tyre. So the setup is working very, very nicely, driving pretty well at this point, nailing the pit entry coming into here, which can be very, very tricky. You can easily get a penalty through here now. And someone is coming in the pits behind us, but luckily we don't get held up. So having a bit of fortune this time in the pits. Normally on another day we probably would have been held quite a bit. And now we've got CRG Evo ahead of us. And I believe we have got the freshest medium tyres to the end of the race now, which is not really going to make too much of a difference. But the undercut is not really that powerful around here. So we just got to try and just maximise it as much as possible and see what we can do. But we come out in 8th place. So making up 8 positions from the back of the grid is certainly not bad at all. I think a couple of people have left, but other than that, we've actually just jumped people in the pits, made a few overtakes as well. And we're going to see what the gap is between me and CLG Evo. It was 2.9 coming into the pits, as we get a little bit on the grass there. But we're going to see what the gap is now. And you can see that little train is not too far away. It's 3.7 seconds. So if we can get within that group, if they start battling, then you never know what points we can actually get. But skipping to lap 22 now, we did start to catch our group very slowly, but it just isn't enough in this tyre. But we have caught TSR Barstek, who pitted very early because he was on the super soft tyre. So we're actually going to be fighting him now for P7 in this race. Haven't got any warnings at this point. I think we've got no warnings at all. So looking good for no penalty. Trying to get a good exit off here now. Still got quite a lot of ERS and fuel left as well. Saved quite a bit of fuel for the end of this race. I like to go in lean for this first sector. I feel it gives me really good traction and just saves me ERS and fuel as well. Not quite close enough this time, so we've got to really try and wait for the next lap now. But you can see following through this section, we'll be able to see this left-hander here. Getting a little bit of understeer for his right hand as well. Very, very difficult to follow another car through here now. But you can see that group is not far away at all. We did start to catch them, but we just didn't have enough laps in this race. But you never know what can happen with penalties and that kind of thing as well. You never know what can happen. And we've got Snazzy Evening in front of Barstek, who's actually, through the dirty air, it's actually very hard to get close. And you can see losing time in this lap now because we just can't get close enough for the braking zone. But getting a good exit of this one now. And he's actually disconnected, which is very unfortunate for him, but very fortunate for me, which actually gives me a position into 7th place. So we're getting quite lucky in the race this time. And we'll probably go get the benefit of actually DRS as well. And we'll be moving on to my fastest lap this race, which we've already done a 30.1, which in itself is a very quick time. It's very, very quick. And we've been lapping constantly in the 30.1s, 2s and 3s the whole time. As you said, the group ahead, we did start to catch my teammate. Snazzy Evans, the car ahead of us, who was on pole on the super soft tyre. He pitted very early, and now his tyres are starting to really die, because I think it's definitely possible getting the super soft to medium, but your tyres just really are in bits at the end of this race. But we're going to stick on board here now for the fastest lap that I've done in this race now, as we always do. Running low ERS here. I normally run lean for this whole sector, as I said. I just find you don't really lose much time. It just really saves your tyres, tyre temps, and just wear and stuff as well. Going up into rich now, and then put it back into standard, because we've still got plenty of fuel left for the end of this race. We probably could go in rich at the end of this race now. Put it back in rich, and now just using all of our ERS, because we just want to set the fastest lap that we can in this race, and just trying and get within at least 3 seconds of Snaz. Even if he can do that, then you never know. My teammate, if he has 6 seconds of penalties, or even Evo, I think it might be Evo Simon ahead of my teammate, if we can get within those guys within 6 seconds, which I believe we're just about within 6 seconds of these guys, then we could actually scrape even more positions. So we're going slightly quicker than we were before, but this is really what the average lap was pretty much looking at. We were very, very consistent in this race. We just weren't in the position really to attack, and that was through my own fault. We really need to sort out the qualifying, because I honestly believe if I can sort that out, then I think we can do some serious damage in this league and in other leagues as well. It's just something I just need to have the confidence to just give it everything I have in the qualifying and just not bottle it pretty much. So, but coming towards the end of this race now, we actually did come sixth, as Martin said. Snazzy even had a penalty, but for me, I felt I drove very well in the race. Just that one mistake in qualifying just had a really big consequence. And you can see we're not even far behind the people in front of us. We just need to start further up the grid. If we can just do that, then I think we're going to have a good time in future races. And yeah, that's just what we do. So I was pretty down after this race, as you can probably tell when I'm speaking here, as Martin's saying as well. We just need to just fix those things, and if we can do that, then yeah, I think we can do well. So thank you so much for the support, the comments on my videos recently and everything. Yeah, I really, really do appreciate it. We're still in the fight for third place in this championship, so I still believe we can do it. Thank you, as I said, for watching these videos and supporting me. I'll be streaming tonight as well at Russia in WOR, so please stay tuned for that on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.